Hello, teachers and staff. We will be painting this lovely love each other heart and hand today. First, we will start with what's in your kit. You should have your paint opened and ready to go. Nice palette. We have some white, blue, black, yellow, red, and brown. You have a plate for mixing colors if you want to mix your colors together, come up with some different shades. You should have a cup. We're going to fill that with water so that we can rinse the brushes off in between colors, wash the brushes. And also, the most important thing we have is an apron for you to use. The acrylic paint, if you get it on your hand, should come off with soap and water. But if you get it on your clothing, it dries permanent. So if you get it on your clothing, you might be able to catch it really quick while it's wet and get it off. But if it's rubbed, you get it rubbed in, it's going to be permanent. So you want to make sure you use this to protect your clothing. Okay. So this painting, I would consider this a small size painting. A lot of details in here. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to start with, we have a medium flat brush and a small round brush. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the hand. So the original painting of this is kind of like a mosaic slash stained glass type of a look. So all of these sections will be outlined, and it says love each other here with the hearts. We'll probably make all the hearts red. The actual hand itself, what we're going to do, I believe the idea is to use the different shades that we all have. Kind of goes with the theme of love each other. So we're showing that everyone's shade is represented. So I'm going to start with the brown. I just used a little bit of water in the brown and I watered it down a little bit. I'm just going to start down here at the bottom. That's the biggest, one of the biggest pieces. Actually, I should have used less water. We want that to be a little bit darker. So the first colors that we use are going to be straight out of the paint pot. And then we'll try to mix some different shades, lighter shades, some darker shades. I'm using the flat brush, spread the paint a little bit quicker, cover more area. So we're just going to randomly put brown in different areas, and then we'll switch up the colors, and then we'll fill in as we go. Try to avoid the colors being right next to each other. So we have brown here. I think that might be too far away. We'll go with a brown here. All right. Let's say we're going to have brown here on the tip of the finger. And those of you who are a little bit more, you're a little bit more detailed, a little bit more organized, you can plan out exactly where you're going to put your colors. I'm kind of freestyling here. That's kind of like how I like to do it, just to kind of see what happens as we go along. And then if we run out of spaces or if I have too many shades of brown in one area, we can always add some light white or black to kind of, or yellow or any color really to change the shade of it. Let's see, I think we'll go here next. I know some people like to have a plan. That's fine. You can plan out where you're going to put your colors. And that's to say that you don't exactly have to do what I'm doing here. So the idea is to fill up this hand with different shades of skin tones. So you can do that, or you can do different shades of red or yellow or blue or any type of color you have here. You do not have to do exactly what I'm doing. Where you kind of let your creativity shine a little bit. All right, maybe we'll do here. And don't worry about going over the line because we're going to outline it in black. And that way we'll be able to separate everything at that point. All right. So now I'm going to go in with another shade of brown. Let me see if I want to add any more before I do that. So we have one here, and let's go with the tip of the finger here. That way we have a little bit of brown on top. Have some in the middle here, and we have some down here at the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna wash the brush. And now, since I already have a little bit of brown on my plate, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the white and just pick an area kind of in the middle here. And we're just gonna mix up a little bit of white and brown. And that'll give it a little bit of a lighter tone, lighter brown. I'm using a lot of water. That way it'll be really light and we'll be able to spread it a little bit easier. All right, so now we have that light brown. So I'm gonna go right here next to where I started in the beginning. It's like a different skin tone. That'll kind of almost be like a palm color. The light brown. And we'll go back up here in the top. Kind of got a little bit of a plate on there. The plate got watered down a little bit. We'll go here in the center. All right, where else? I'm adding a little bit more of a brown to it to darken it a little bit. Not necessarily creating a third color, just a little bit darker. Let's see here. We'll go right here, and we can do that. Let's go for that. So you kind of created a middle tone there. It's a little bit in between the two, the light and the dark. When it dries, I'm not sure if it's going to stay that color. We'll see. And a little bit more white, a little bit more brown. Mix that. There we go. Now it's a little bit darker. Let's see where we can go next. How about right here? All right. So now I'm going to take the yellow and a little bit of the brown and see what we get with that. almost like an orange. I think they call that like a sienna. All right. Let's see how that looks. Maybe a little bit more yellow. It looks a little bit similar to the original color. All right. Now I'll go on the tip here. You'll see that it's slightly brighter than the other colors. Go down here. It's almost like a gold. We'll go in between these two. Again, like I said, I'm freestyling this, so I might have to come up with another color if I have too many spaces left. We'll go here. All right, so I'm going to rinse off my brush. I'm going to go with the red. I'll put that in the corner there, kind of out of the way. Red. And let's see what happens when we do the brown. See what we get. That might be similar to that first color. So actually might add a little bit of black to that. Darken it up a little bit. Gotta find the right shade. Might have to experiment with it a little bit. A little bit of a dark red, almost comes like a dark brown. Now that doesn't look like that should go there. Do more red. We'll put more red there. There we go. Now it's a different color. So here, have you ever seen a stained glass before? You know, you can do different shades of the same color. I've seen that look very nice as well. So you could do like blue and light blue, dark blue, you know, if you wanted to have that effect. Now this thumb area, it looks like that's one section, but I'm gonna break that up into two. I'm just gonna do the regular red right out of the paint pot right here where that line is, and I'm just gonna extend the line there and make that one color. There we go. All right. We have three more spaces here. We're gonna use, can we use different colors? Let's see here. How about the brown and a touch of the black? A little bit more brown. And we'll go here. Now you get a darker brown shade. Now it's starting to come together a little bit. Different shades. Now, if you add a little bit of water to that, you can leave that color here, and it'll be a little bit lighter. And that's okay if you mix the other colors in there because we're going to use the black. And we have this one color left here. What can go in there that's already not touching another color? Let's see here. We've got the reddish, got the yellow bowl. How about we mix, that's going to be like an orange. So let's mix the red, a little bit of the yellow. There we go. That's a new color. Really bright. But it's in that same tone. So we get a different color. This is the only one that we have, so it stands out. It turned out all right. Freestyle. All right, so you're gonna wash it off your brush, and then we're just gonna go right into the red, and we're gonna make the heart red. I'm just gonna go along the outside of that line that's printed there, or the inside of the line, sorry. Just follow it along. Get as close to the line as you can. I'm trying to use the paint that's here without going into it. Even if it's a little bit lighter here, that kind of gives it a little bit of texture. I'm gonna go into the water. No more paint, just the water. And then you'll see it's a little bit lighter as we get in here. And it gives a little bit of a shaded effect. Inside the fingers, it'll be a little bit lighter. We'll just continue that along here. Inside the fingers. Get a little bit of that paint from the inside, that's fine. All right. So we're gonna go with the red right here. And continue that along. I should have said in the beginning, but don't worry if I'm going a little bit fast for you. For the purposes of the video, I'm just trying to get the canvas filled in here. And you could, pause and take your time or go over different colors if you like. Techniques will be the same. Make sure you fill in all the spaces. Right. Now we have a couple of things going on here on the outside. I'm going to use the small brush, the round brush, to do the hearts on the outside here. Same thing, I'm going to outline them. just with the red paint, a little bit of water on there, spread it around. So these actually fill in for the O's in the phrase love each other. All right. So you have a few choices here you can do with how you want to color your canvas. With the colors that we have here on the top, I'm going to use blue. So I'm using blue and I'm using a little bit of the water and I'm just going to fill in that square. I'm going to stay inside the lines because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another color to kind of go outside of that to add a little bit more color to it. I think that'll look cool if we have more color choices on here. All right, now when you run out of paint, instead of going into more paint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use water. And that's just going to lighten it up a little bit and kind of give it a natural shaded effect. So it won't be as dark as the left side as it is on the right. And I just think that's a cooler way to do that. See that? You can bring some of it over. You'll still have a separation, dark and light. So the bottom here is going to be blue as well. And again, since I'm at dark at the top, I'm going to keep it light. So we're just going to do a light blue down here with just the water. Right here in this corner as well. Fill in any spaces that are left unpainted. All right. Actually, there's a little piece in the corner here on the side. We'll do that blue as well. So a little bit more water, a little bit more paint. All right. Now for the area between love each other, I'm going to use yellow and water, kind of like a wash, I believe they call it. I'm just going to paint in the whole thing because you'll be able to see the letters underneath the yellow. And we're going to paint over it in black anyway, so it's a little bit more bold and it stands out a little bit more outline everything. So I'm just going to make this yellow. A little bit of water. Nice and bright. Kind of go around the heart. It's okay if you mix the colors because we're going to outline it again. And we'll separate everything when we outline it. Notice I'm not using any more paint, just water. I'm just spreading it around. So once we have the canvas filled in, and like I said, that outline I said, I wanted to add some more color. So if you still have that orange color that we used, I'm going to use a little bit more yellow, kind of brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to put that on the outside. And again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. If you wanted to color that with a different color or just leave it, that's fine. So this kind of gives it a little bit extra color. So once we get everything filled in, then we can outline everything and kind of make it pop a little bit. So it's kind of like outlining in like an orange. All right. So we got the canvas covered here, all your paint. I'm gonna do two different sizes of outline. So I think I'm just gonna do the hand first. And we're using all black. So mix up the black in case you have any paint mixed in there. Black. Water is gonna be your friend here because the water is gonna help you spread the paint a little bit longer. So I'm just starting at the bottom and I'm outlining the outside of the hand. That probably takes you till about there with the water. You might have to go back in. And those of you who don't have steady hands or if you're worried about making any mistakes, you can wait for this to dry and use our friend, the Sharpie. So this is kind of just making it stand out a little bit more like an illustration. And again, if you don't like outlines or strong outlines, you can leave it that way. There are some paintings that look a little bit better without the outline. I'm just a fan of outlining everything. And now the individual spaces here on the colors. I think that might be it. I feel like I missed one, but I think that's it. All right, so now for the heart, I'm going to use the flat brush, kind of give it a little bit of a more bold outline. So I'm going to start out with the skinny side, and then I'm going to go use the flat side as I go up. We're going to start out here and go up. And then I'm gonna just turn the brush as I go around that curve. See that? Up there. I think we can get the brush in between there. A little bit more black, a little bit more water. Same thing, let's start out and then just turn the brush as we go around that curve. Don't use too much water, it'll get watered down, it might run. And then to finish it off, we're going to use the smaller brush, skinny around. Just go over the letters. Oh, actually, there's some outlining here. I forgot about that. So there's almost like a comic caption, it looks like. There we go. And we got one over here, just to make it uniform. We might as well outline that whole yellow portion. I forgot about the hearts as well. There we go. So we're just gonna go follow the letters out of there. L, and the heart to the O. Kind of gives it a little bit more character, bolder outline. Oh, got the heart. It's kind of like a little outline here, a little accent on the heart. Emphasize edge there. Letters get a little small over here, so just take your time and make sure they don't run together. Like my paintbrush is very wet, so I'm gonna dry it off a little bit. Get that one line going through there. R. So that's pretty much the finished product. Now you kind of can just go in and finish off any details that you might have left out. There are a few things you can do to make yours stand out from somebody else's. A couple of things you could do. You could then go in with the flat brush and a little bit of black. Actually, just the water itself. Let's see how that looks first. Dry it off a little bit. And you can just go around the inside of the heart here. Kind of give it a little bit of a shadow. These are just little details that you can do. Gives it a little bit of a texture. Or you can use the paint that's already there. Mine is still a little bit wet. Just go along the inside of that line. Follow it along. Make it stand out a little bit. That way it doesn't look flat, kind of give the heart a little bit of dimension. If you want to get fancy, you can go back in with the round brush and maybe some white and outline the letters, or just give like a highlight on this edge of the letters. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see. I'm gonna clean off your brush first. I still had some paint on there. So we'll go into the white. And this will help, like in case you had a little bit of a mix up there, paint running. This will separate it a little bit. So maybe the outside of the L, outside of the V, outside of the E, just on the outside. Make your letters stand out a little bit. I'm going to leave the hearts. And then on this part here where the letters got a little bit mixed up, you can just do a little bit on the outside. Fix the R. And that should be your finished painting. You can do little polka dots, some stripes, add some more colors. You can do anything at this point to add a little bit of flair to it. Sign it if you like. All right. And thank you for painting with Home and Events.